If your community is perceived as unsafe, you're not going to go out and be physically active. It's just a fact. The Preventing Violence, Healthy Eating, Active Living project explores the obesity epidemic from the standpoint of preventing violence, which prevents physical activity opportunities. We decided to focus on Western Chula Vista, which is a catchment area of 50 to 80,000 residents. Any particular area of Western Chula Vista could be upwards of 75%, 80% Latino. And so we're also working with a focus on underserved populations, low socioeconomic populations, and the community is essentially bifurcated. To the east is a higher socioeconomic bracket of residents, and to the west, where we're situated and focused, there's an inequity in resources.
In 2009, we had what we called the Chronic Disease Agenda, which tackled some of the chronic diseases that were affecting our community residents. And so within that agenda, it was shown that safety was a huge component. And so from that part, it was like, okay, this is an opportunity. When Dana came along with HEAL, this is an opportunity for us to really get involved and to really get into the safety component of it. So we jumped on board, and from that, since then, the county has several other initiatives that are dealing with safety specifically. So we felt that it was a perfect match. We felt that it was something that we were already working on and that we were going to be working towards more in the future. So it was just a perfect opportunity for us to get involved.
What's really great about some of the work that they're doing is they're engaging youth and young people and getting them engaged in the work they're doing, so we can not only look at the root causes of things, but we can get young people engaged who are going to be our leaders for tomorrow.
One or two of the requirements of being a pilot project with Preventing Violence, Healthy Eating, Active Living was to have youth at the table, was to have the county public health department at the table, to have an obesity prevention partner, which we served in that role, and then a violence prevention partner, which was Institute for Public Strategies. And then we had other partners that were also invested in the common goals that we shared to improve health and quality of life, physical activity promotion in Chula Vista, healthy food access in Chula Vista. So our partners came in from Network for a Healthy California and also Walk San Diego.
I was particularly interested in this project because you can't have a safe and vibrant community when there's that perception of fear or the presence of violence and crime. So taking a look at that and really hammering down into what creates that perception, what creates that violence and crime, and taking a look at how we could actually approach and change the environment to include CPTED principles, to include a safer pedestrian environment, bicycle environment, community environment.
This is the type of work that CHIP does in community. We have a long history of projects related to community empowerment, community participation, youth participation, and so this was just a natural extension of the work that we do to empower young people and adults in high-need communities to address their own public health issues and concerns.
CPTED, which is the acronym for Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design, is a concept that was actually generated here in the United States. Jane Jacobs, an architect, came up with a concept, and it's looking at land use and design and how you can create a community or develop an area in a way that it actually deters crime.
CPTED to CHIP is really an intermediate step to identifying safety issues at a specific site and then helping people that participate in our process realize more about how the environment in a broader scale influences or undermines people's ability to have a healthy life and a good quality of life.
You're looking at creating a place where people come out and meet, those eyes on the street. That way you have the social cohesion that a community really thrives on versus a community that's isolated, no one's out there, and that breeds a lot of crime and graffiti and gangs. So I think CPTED is very instrumental, not just in new development, but also in areas where you have a lot of these problems going on.
Okay, these go first, okay? Because the reds are going to fade, and since it's in a kind of in a shady little area, we'll go with the red. So you're going to lay these two colors first, and then we're going to go with some reds on top of this, so we have a darker base in the bottom. Okay, move some of that red on this side over here.
Obviously, there's a concern around graffiti. It's all throughout the report. And most of that graffiti was on walls and utility boxes. So why not bring public art, community art, to the utility boxes, not only to deter graffiti, but also to make the Western Chula Vista environment a more interactive place, a more interesting place.
We're using a technique here with stencil paper, frisket, and it's a way of applying it to the actual painting application. It creates a cohesive look. We're taking pre-Columbian design symbols that are strong and powerful and recognizable to the community at large in this particular area. And so the student has the responsibility of selecting these images, going through the process of making the stencil, and then from that, the stencils will be used in the utility box to be a bold statement, something strong, with color in the background.
When we go out there and we paint these utility boxes, it will be like part of ourselves out there. So it will be like our community, it's part of ours.
Ultimately, what we want is to create environments where youth can be out doing positive things, where they can really feel that the community is their community. There's a concept called place attachment. And really, that's what you want with residents, and especially youth in a community. If they're attached to the place, if they're connected, they're going to really contribute to that community, to that neighborhood in a positive way.
By bringing the community out to do the boxes and to be a part of that, it just creates this ownership and this excitement to be part of a community and involved in a community, and just brings it all together. So I'm really excited to incorporate all these different aspects into something that's going to end up really great.
In order for us to push our work to the next level, we had to really dig deep into what the data was telling us. The data sets that we received were hotspots maps, and the hotspots maps were for 2007, 2008, and 2009. And the data that we were given not only covered general disorder in Western Chula Vista, but also traffic safety problems and also violence that occurred in target areas of Western Chula Vista. And so in identifying our 6 sites, we were able to really key in on and be 100% confident, and this is why we chose the area around St. Regis Apartments. This is why we chose the 3 trolley stations. This is why we chose the 2 parks, Lauterbach Park and Harborside Park.